Anticipation. Such an underdone skill in the game of squash. I see so many players reacting to the situation, but not being proactive, not anticipating what's going on. And in this video, we're going to look at some of these key elements to be able to try and get you to anticipate. Listen, it's no easy task. It's a tough gig to anticipate the game of squash. There's so many variables, the pace of the game, your opponent. There's so much that can go on with it, but you've got to start to try it. And the more you do it and the more you put yourself in situations, you will create this database and this knowledge about certain patterns that will happen. So it sounds so simple, this, but one of the key elements that doesn't happen in a game of squash is using your eyes, watching that ball with both eyes all the time. 90% of the information about where that ball's going to go is from your eyes. The amount of times I see people hit a shot, they hit it down the line, they get in there and they bury their opponent in the back, and at a certain point, they take their eye off the ball and they start looking back at the front, or they're getting distracted. That type of player will only be able to react once the ball has been hit and is back on the front wall. That's already too late. Your anticipation comes from watching that ball, tracking it through, and when it's getting close to your opponent, you've got to start to watch your opponent and the ball. You've got to make them the package. So I can't emphasize enough. I know it sounds ridiculous saying it. Use your eyes. But I say it so often in coaching. Really, really use your eyes. And even go to the point where you're being very deliberate, watching the ball in the front, deliberate, putting your head there, kind of really watching, because it'll make a huge difference. And the amount of people I've just said that to in a lesson, and they've come back next week and gone, I've nailed it. I can really see the game. So use those eyes. What we're going to talk about with movement, which is really interesting, is there's almost this dance move. When I see good movers or people anticipating well, is they link into their opponent. So now they're watching, they're really watching. For example, say I put my opponent in the back right corner. As he's lining up the shot, I want to anticipate what's going on. So I'm going to be moving and I'm going to have momentum. One of the key elements, what I see people do, is they get back to the tee in essence, or get back to the middle, and they go and they sit and they glue themselves to the floor. You cannot anticipate from there. That is such a tough position to be in. A great ready position in squash is moving, where you're drifting up, you're becoming weightless at the moment your opponent's about to hit the ball. If my opponent's about to hit the ball and I'm here, I can feel I'm not going to anticipate. I have to wait, I have to see the ball, and then I'm a bit stuck. So you'd watch something called a split step. Split step is worth introducing now at your level, because once you get it, man, it's going to make a huge difference. When you watch some of these videos and you see some of the better players doing it, happens, I'd say 95% of the time, there's a split step going on. And a split step is, in essence, is from a narrow-ish base, it's that. It's a movement, it's a spark, it's a power, it's a first explosion into a certain direction. Split step can't really happen from here. A split step happens from a bit of momentum, and I'm off. And I'm, again, walking up, watching my opponent, and I change direction there. It's, in a simple way, it's a little hop, it's a little movement, it's a little bit of weightlessness before I go. And the timing of the split step's important. We've got to time it. Because if you do it too early, you're going to come back down again, and then your opponent's going to hit a ball. Or if you do it too late, the ball's already hit the wall and traveling, and you're playing a guessing game. And for me, the timing happens, again, in conjunction with your opponent. You've got to really link your opponent into this. You've got to watch them. You've got to watch when they're engaging the swing. Because as they engage the swing, as they're getting in, for example, if they're here, and in that motion there, in that motion as they're coming in, I would be on the tee in that weightless. I'd be anticipating that split step. And for me, once you get that connection, you'll be so much more in tune with the game. You'll be able to move in multi-directions from that anticipation. So that's why I started this video about talking about your eyes, how important they are. Because I'm not watching my opponent, I'm not watching his movement of his swing and his movement of his body, I'm not going to anticipate that split step. If I'm not anticipating that split step, I'm going to be half a second behind the game every single shot. And that accumulates negatively. But the beautiful thing about anticipation is when you do it well, it accumulates positively. I'm in there, I'm walking up, I've got a small drift, bang. And I do that again and again and again over the course of a rally. I'm the one on top of my opponent now. And I'll just reinforce the base. I just want to talk about your base on your tee, because I want to make sure that that we're not wide. You know, it's kind of a strange one. A ready position in a lot of sports is a wide base and right, I'm ready to go off. Actually, a squash ready position we talk about is quite a tall position, a narrow-ish base where the feet are going to be roughly about the distance of the hips. They might be slightly more open, but it's ready. And you want to make sure you're slightly leaning to the side the ball is on. So if I've played a forehand drive, or I played anything to the forehand, I might have a nice base here, but if I'm standing dead straight neutral, I'm not really going to be able to move in any direction. If I played it straight down the line on the forehand, I'm going to be there. And I can go off, or I can go in the other direction. Same on the backhand. I'll get to this position, and you can see my lean, my center mass is slightly favoring that side. That's another way to anticipate while you are leaning to the side the ball is on. You are really looking for where that ball is. So it's going to be really interesting when you see good examples of this. And I'm a bit nerdy, but I love watching squash, but not watching the ball sometimes. I just watch the feet. I watch the movement. I watch the body position. I watch the angles of things that are going on. And it opens up so much information. So challenge yourself. See if you can watch a relatively good game of squash, but not look at the ball. Just look at the feet. Look at the split step. Look at the anticipation. Is there a connection between the opponent hitting and the person moving from that tee? It'll really open your mind in regard to your movement when you see the subtleties going on in the feet, that when you watch a game and you're focusing on the ball, you don't really notice what's going on in the feet.
Have you ever wondered what Jonah Barrington, Nick Matthew and Jonathan Power all have in common? They might all be world number ones, but they're also all coaches on squashskills.com. Now, Squash Skills is the online training platform that's designed to give amateur players the insight and knowledge to take their games to a whole different level. So if you've been struggling with your game, or you're stuck in a bit of a rut, or you're wondering how to improve, we've got you covered. With over 4,000 videos from some of the biggest names in the sport, as well as the ultimate training app, complete with every single squash exercise under the sun, we're there to take care of you and ensure that you can improve your squash no matter what your level. We're so confident that we can improve your understanding of the game that we'll even give you a 14-day money-back guaranteed if you're not completely satisfied. So if you're looking to take your game to a whole new level in 2024, be sure to check out squashskills.com today.